identity crisis video for you. Because I strongly believe that the things that we face, like the challenges that we face in our life the most, are what we're meant to help other people with the most. And so I want to talk about that. So much of my life, I've been told, just be yourself, right? I'm sure you've all heard that. Just be yourself. And sure, it's a nice sentiment. I get it. However, just being myself didn't get me the outcomes that I really desired. You know, it didn't help me to reach my full potential because I was just settling for what I've always been and my behavior as it has always been. And how damaging that has been to my life is crazy. You know, wanting to be taken seriously, especially in business, in work situations, when I've just been a joker my whole life, that, you know, it's a hard reality to wake up to. Or, you know, wanting to be viewed as like a responsible adult when I'm really not acting like one, or wanting to be financially stable yet, you know, being reckless with my money. And, you know, there's things that you know, and like I've told you all before, I'm telling you as I'm learning, as I'm growing. I'm not coming at you from a position of like, oh, I know better than everybody and I just There's no superiority here. I'm telling you as I'm figuring shit out. And I'm going to be real authentic with you guys the whole way through, because I am not here to pretend, you know, that everything's just been perfect and I live some perfect life. That's just not reality, you know. And I feel like any content creator that shows up in that energy is probably being inauthentic. Because we don't just wake up having all the answers. We have to go through this life in order to find all the answers. And well, you know, for me, a lot of my answers that I've been getting lately are that I need to talk more about my journey with people, and I feel that it's gonna help on some level, because I've been real quiet about it. And then I face, you know, the people who are like, oh, well, you just look like you got it all put together. And I'm like, do you know what it took to get to where I'm at? It's not like I just woke up where I'm at, you know? I didn't just wake up like, yeah, I know all the things. No, I'm telling you as I'm learning lessons. And one of the biggest lessons that I've been learning recently is that just being myself hasn't been enough, you know, because myself lacked self-discipline. Myself was very hedonistic and, you know, even borderline nihilistic. Myself hasn't been helping. Okay, and sometimes we need to think, who would you like to be, right? Being your ideal self, you know, being the self that you want to project out onto the world is actually more what I feel people need to hear. Because, you know, if you want to be seen as honest, you gotta be honest. If you want to be seen as stable, mentally stable, financially stable, grounded, you know, whatever you want to be seen as hell is zen, you gotta live that life. You can't just sit there and preach it. It's like, I can't remember if it was Seneca or Marcus Aurelius, one of them. Maybe it wasn't a philosopher, whatever. I heard through the interwebs this quote that said, don't preach your philosophy, live your philosophy, right? And that stands out to me because I feel like, yeah, a lot of living is figuring out what we're living for, what our philosophy is, what our values are, what our morals are, what do we see as virtuous, you know, because what I see as virtuous is vastly different from, you know, what the next guy is going to think is virtuous. And we have to figure that out for ourselves, right? Our right path is very subjective. We have our own relationship with the universe. We have our own purposes in life. And we have our own, like, potential. And so, if you want to find your highest potential, then you need to start living out what that is. You know, live out your highest potential by being the best, you know, by being your best, not the best ever, but, you know, competing with your own self, being better than yesterday, making better decisions today than you did before. Not being afraid to say no when you gotta say no, and not being afraid to assert yourself when you need to, especially in regards to your boundaries and whatever. Not being afraid to cut ties when necessary, if, you know, if that's really what you gotta do. I feel that it's just very important for all of us as a whole to understand that just being yourself is not going to take you to your highest potential, right? Be the person that you want other people to see you as, right? If you want people to see you as a non-jealous person, don't be jealous, right? Don't look at people in a competitive manner. Look at people through the lens of love, right? Like, find the things that you love about them. And, you know, it's as simple as that. And be more trusting, you know? There are so many ways that we can exhibit our best traits. And it's still within the realm of who we are intrinsically, you know? It's just no longer settling for, oh, this is just the way that I am. I hate that narrative. This is just the way that I am. Oh, I'm just an asshole. You know, it's just the way I am. Or, oh, I'm just really abrasive. It's just the way that I am. Or, oh, you know, it's just the way I am. I hate that. Whatever, you know, whatever context you're throwing that in. No, I don't believe that that's just the way that you are. I think that's just the identity that you've settled for, actually. Because your potential is higher than that. And I feel like a lot of people know that deep down, you know, because myself doesn't like going to the gym, you know, like, but that doesn't mean that I can't be the kind of person that goes to the gym, you know, or like, sure, like, my ego self loves just lounging around and not giving a fuck about nobody else. But does that help me reach my highest potential? No. Is that really gonna get me far? Or, you know, like, because I feel like so many people compromise on their own ambition and their own goals and whatever else because they're so busy just being themselves, just accepting who they've been this whole time and not feeling that any part of them needs to change at all or ever, you know, and that's like very unfortunate for them. It's very unfortunate because there's so much within you that can be expressed. And if you are not willing to settle for like life as it has been, and if you genuinely want better or more for yourself, that's going to require you to be more, right? To be super reliable, to, you know, like show up in the energy that you want to be seen in. I don't want to say like fake it till you make it. It's more like be it until you realize that you've just been being it, you know? I don't think that you have to fake anything. I think that ultimately it's gonna come through, you know, that's who you are, and, you know, like now, because now you are who you desire to be. Because you're not settling for less. If you wouldn't settle for less in a relationship, in a friendship, or whatever, why would you settle for less when it comes to your own self? Alright? Why would you settle for just being, you know, the most minuscule version of yourself when you know you have potential for greatness? You know, I don't feel that mediocrity is for everybody, and I feel like a lot of people just settle for that. And if that's your deal, if that's really, you know, what you want for yourself and for your future and your life, that's cool. You know, I guess we have to have some mediocre people in the world. You know, it is what it is. Not saying that everybody has to change. This video is particularly for those who are seeking, you know, self-improvement. Those who have drive or want, or who are, you know, are constantly looking for better outcomes and not knowing how to find them. That's who this video is for. It's not for the people who are content where they're at, okay? Because I live in a world full of people who hate themselves, and that's crazy to me. You should not hate yourself. And if you do hate yourself, then change the aspects of yourself that you hate, right? Because why would you settle for being the kind of person that you don't like? That's crazy to me. I think that the most beautiful thing we can do is strive to be the best version of ourselves, whatever that looks like, you know? And I don't give a fuck if that means even on a professional level. I'm talking about your character, like how you show up in the world. Like, you know, because shit, janitors are making more than chefs these days. So like, who fucking cares if you're a janitor? Are you proud of your character? Are you proud of your actions? Are you proud of your habits and like who, you know, other people see you as? You know, because that is what's important. It's not about like, you know, wearing Louis Vuitton and, you know, stomping around looking like whatever. You know, it's about who is your character. Is that something that you're proud of? Can you be proud of your character? And if not, that's the thing you need to change, right? That's the thing that's really inhibiting you. It's that hanged man energy, you know. It's like that's the thing that's holding you up from, you know, being the person that you really deserve to be, because I know that it's in you to be that. I know it is. And you fucking got this, you know? You fucking got this. And, you know, because I know there are some people who love being miserable too. You know, there are some people who are just content with life as it is, and they will just want to continue on being, you know, whatever they are. And that's fine. That's not who this video is for. And I hope that this video finds those who are really in the energy of self-improvement, in whatever place in your life you're seeking to improve, whether it's in your interpersonal relationships, whether it's professionally, whether it's, whatever the case, because we all have room for improvement, right? And if you're on a constant pursuit of improving yourself, then I feel that there's no way you could ever fail, or feel like a failure, because you've been really putting out your best efforts and really striving for your own personal greatness, whatever measure that is for you. Because not everyone's going to be a doctor, not everyone's going to, we all have something, we all have our own niche, in the life. And what is that? Because I know some bartenders that are on the brink of, that have the kind of talent that could make them the Picasso of our generation, And I know some chefs that have the kind of talent that would make them the next Andy Warhol of our generation. But they settle, or, well, I shouldn't say they settle, because the ones specifically I'm talking about are not settling, and they're striving for that improvement, for that greatness, and they're making it. Like this girl, I shit you not, she just started painting one day, and every time she posts a new painting, people are like, I'm buying it, I want that, I'm buying it. This girl is going to make a living on her art, right? She will be able to quit her day job on her art alone. Okay, and it's because she's not settling for mediocrity, and she's not listening to naysayers telling her oh, nobody can make a living on her art, Well, guess what, chicken butt, she's gonna do it, okay? And ain't nobody gonna stop her, because her shit is great. And nobody is, if she has it her way, ain't nobody gonna have fucking Target paintings, or paintings in their house that they got off at a Target anymore. No, they're gonna have her spooky ass Bob Ross paintings. Well, I shouldn't say Bob Ross, because they're hers, And I love it. I love it. And I say Bob Ross because it's so scenic, and then she adds cute little ghosts and stuff. It's just such a beautiful perspective, and it's such a modern way of doing art, because she's taking different art styles and throwing them together and making this epic mashup, right? And that shit's gonna take her places. It's already taking her places. She's already making profit on her art, because she's willing to throw her shit out there, and she believes in herself, and she is you know what, I'm actually gonna be my best self today. And and it required sacrifices on her part. It required her to get real serious about life and real serious about what she wants. And I'm just hella proud, honestly. I'm proud to know her. I'm proud to have friends like that. I think that's epic. To see it happen, just real life, see people make something of themselves on their talent, on their potential, and just not settling for less, not, because failure is not an option for people with a real vision for their life, for people who, really want to strive for that. And I don't give a fuck what any naysayer says about it, because guess what? If somebody's done it, then it's possible. And if somebody hasn't done it yet, I still think it's possible, right? We just gotta find out, right? And I just don't believe that everyone is meant to be stuck in mediocrity forever. And I think it's such a travesty to see genuinely talented people not reach reach their full potential, you know? Like, I know some chefs out there that they have the skill set to run their own food trucks, their own restaurants, to illustrate and publish their own cookbooks, and maybe even make their own show on Food Network or whatever. And the only thing that's holding them back is their action, taking the action to do it, because they've just settled for, oh well, this is just as far as it's going, so this is as far as it's going, and da-da-da-da-da. I want to live in a world where people actually believe in themselves. I want to live in a world where people take advantage of capitalism rather than corporations, right? Because capitalism could be a beautiful thing if these small businesses would actually take it upon themselves to challenge the corporate America, right? Or corporate whatever the fuck. If we are willing to be like, you know what? Actually, I know what Nike's been putting out, but maybe I have a better shoe design, or maybe I shouldn't be afraid of producing these things because, just because a corporation is bigger right now, like, they might be bigger right now, and not everything has to be franchised out either. That does not mean that you won't have your own greatness on your own level, that you won't reach something epic. Anyway, I'm done with my rant. I just, trying to be out here motivating people to just not accept that they have to settle for just being who they've been and living like they've lived. Because honestly, I think people have a lot more greatness than they give themselves credit for. And I want to see that. I want to see that happen. I want to see people, really making it and really doing what they want to do without being shamed, Like, if your success is, like, I've seen fucking strippers feeling successful, feeling proud of themselves, feeling, and more power to them, right? I've seen models in the same energy, or even people who want to be actors that have it in them to be an actor, and they're like, well, I just don't know how to get started. Research how to get started, because I know that you can get started. If somebody else has done it before, then it's possible to do it, okay? You don't gotta wait for somebody else to recognize your potential. You just gotta recognize it yourself and throw yourself out there, because you can't just always be waiting for somebody else to see it in you and to validate your potential. No, you validate your potential. You throw yourself out there, and you don't accept no for an answer when it comes to your own ambition. And yeah, now this is me, momming y'all, right? Because the world needs a mom, and I'm gonna show up like that, okay? I'm gonna show up like that, because if my kids were to tell me, oh, I can't do that because, like, so-and-so said, like, it's not possible, I'd be like, the fuck? Who the hell is so-and-so? Who are they to tell you what? If you want to be a fucking samurai warrior, you're going to be a goddamn samurai warrior, and I'm going to help. You want to forge your own freaking weapons? Well, I'm going to figure out how to do blacksmithing real fast, okay? Like, we will do this. And because I just don't think that anybody should have to settle for less than what they desire in life. Like, you have this life to do so much. Why the hell settle for just a 9-to-5 if you feel a calling for more? Not everyone feels a calling for more. Some people really want that 9-to-5 life, and they want to go home and get married, have, you know, kids, and live that, and that's beautiful, and they should have that. If that's where their happiness lies, they should absolutely fucking have that. And if people want more in life, they should absolutely fucking have that too. You know? I'm just saying, where your heart finds contentment is what you should be aspiring for. Wherever that lies on the whole spectrum of whatever, you know? Anyway, okay, now I'm really done. Alright, I love you guys. Namaste, and I will talk to you later.